Thank you for giving me the opportunity to introduce Section K of the Methodist Council report. I do just want to emphasise paragraph 82, which is the basis of Resolution 2213 that we'll come to in a minute. This is now more about the forward-looking part of the Janus role. Especially in the current challenging economic climate for so many, we've got to do some prayerful reflection on how we as a justice-seeking church are effective in directing our energy and resources where they are needed most. Madam President referred to that on Saturday, and it crops up time and time again throughout our meeting in the coming days. The suggestion that this work is carried out collaboratively, the suggestion is that this work is carried out collaboratively with the Ministries and Missions Committee. As we move into our revision, I realise the red light's come on. I just want to make a really important point, which is under new structures, we are very much looking forward to continuing a new collaborative way of working with the Missions Committee that we hope will prove to be both more efficient and more effective and of high quality communication within our church. Madam President, I move motion 2210 that the conference receive this report.
Any speakers? No, I don't see any. Could we vote by a show of hands, please, conference? Those in agreement, resolution 22/10. That's carried.
Thank you. Finally, resolution 2213, that conference establishes a connectional economic justice working group, as I outlined earlier on. This refers to paragraph 82 in section K.
2213 is before us. Could conference vote by show of hands, please? Those in favour? That is carried. Thank you very much. So I call the chair of the Memorials Committee.
Thank you, Madam Vice President and members of the conference. Ken Howcroft, here as conference elected, but also chair of the Memorials Committee, and therefore acting through the next few days as the understudy to the convener of the Memorials Committee, who's unable to be at the conference. I will say now you will not get exciting information about shoes from me. The Memorials Committee are a very important part of the life of the conference. They are a way in which people in our circuits and districts are able to share with the wider connection their concerns, to make suggestions, and to put items on this conference's and the wider connection's agenda. You, as the members of this conference, have to reply to each of them. If we were to start each of those conversations from scratch, you would not be going home on Wednesday. Therefore, the Memorials Committee has the delightful task of trying to guess what your mind might be, trying to see if it can discern what you might find consensus around as a reply to each of the memorials, and proposing such a reply as a draft to at least get you started thinking about it. In presenting the memorials, I will assume that you have read them all, so I will not give a précis of each one and of each reply. I will say an introductory sentence for each one so you can help orientate yourself to it. All the memorials are in section 57 of the conference agenda at the end of volume 3, and the 3 that I have to present this morning begin on page 724 with M14, a memorial from the Peterborough Circuit, sharing a concern that our understanding of connectionalism means that we need to find ways in which we as a whole connection can help poorer circuits and local churches through periods of transition towards growth. The reply refers to the decision that you have just made to set up this review of economic justice in the life of the church, and therefore by making that decision, you've answered the memorial, and I am so moved that reply.
Could conference show that it agrees by show of hands? Memorial M14, the reply to Memorial M14 is before us. Oh, sorry. Sorry, we have a speaker.
So, Madam Vice President, members of conference, Becky Wright, Northampton District. I'm really pleased that we have voted in the committee in our last vote, but having read the report, what I really wanted to put was that for years, we keep using the phrase, we've got wealth in the church, it's just spread unevenly, and then we don't do anything about it. What I'd like to say, and hopefully it will become part of the work of this committee, is that circuits, we don't know what we're doing, what other circuits are doing across the country. And it may be that passion in one area is a passion in another area. Could we have something, almost like a buddy partnership system like we've done globally in the past, where circuits can talk about what they're doing and then unite or buddy up with another circuit somewhere else who has the resources? Could this be considered as part of the committee that's being set up? Thank you.
Madam Vice President, Conference, Richard Andrew, Darlington District. I was very fortunate a few months ago to be part of a conversation with the Bishop of Durham and several others about the authentic voice of the poor, in which people from communities around the North East were brought together to share their experience. And one group was a group called Thrive Women Teesside, and they brought with them a poem which they'd written together, and it was a poem which several women had written different poems, and then they'd torn them apart into different lines and put a new poem together. And one of the lines said, "You do not see my face. You do not see my face." I really welcome the reply to the memorial and the decision that we've just taken, but I think we must always keep in mind that the reason that we want to see economic justice is because we want to see the face of the poor, and that actually when we're supporting circuits, it's really important that we keep our mission to the poor and our bias towards the poor right at the heart of all that we do. Thank you.
Madam Vice President, members of the conference, I'm grateful for those replies. The committee that's being set up will have the text of the memorial, and I'm sure will take note of what has just been said as well. I move the reply.
So the reply, does conference agree to the reply to Memorial M14 if you could vote by show of hands?